we joined the team just over 4 years ago, and I met Sashin. He had just hit international marketing director for the first time, and he was 21 years young. And so I've watched Sashin evolve over the last 4 years, and I must tell you, there's one thing. Andrew and I bought Sashin's VUM package, and you can do 3 or 4 videos a day. They're short videos, 110 videos in total. And I honestly wish that we had had access to this 4 years ago, because it's such a nice, easy tool, and it's such a methodical system. Whether you are just getting started in network marketing, or as an entrepreneur, or you've been in for a while, it just gives you that easy step by step, and you can go and watch 2, 3, 4 videos a day. Don't watch more than that. If you're going to go out and you're going to buy Sashin's VUM virtual upline mentoring course, there's a thing that you can overflood your brain with information. So what you want to do is you want to read a couple of pages, 10 minutes of his book a day, watch 2 or 3 videos a day, and then go out and apply it into your business as an entrepreneur. And this type of personal growth development has helped us in our conventional business. It helps you in your job as well, the way you communicate with people. So strongly recommend you reading the ebook, using it as a promotional tool, and then taking this and then going to the next level and getting the VUM. So for those of you on this call tonight, I just want to check how many. We've got 123 people, so we still don't have all the people on. But for those of you which are on the call, you are going to get a bonus call next week, Tuesday, at the same time. So you thought you were going to get a one-time deal. You're going to get a bonus call with Sashin. Now, the information that Sashin's going to give on tonight's call, as well as on next week, Tuesday's call, is going to be content that you haven't heard from Sash before. So this is going to be an opportunity for you to add more people who buy the book between tonight and next week, Tuesday, and get them onto next week's Tuesdays. Now, obviously, they're going to miss the content tonight, but I highly, highly, highly recommend you buy Sashin's book, the ebook, $7. In South African money, it's 138 Rand. Read his book. It's going to give you, personal insight into his journey. And we've watched him over the last 4 years just go from strength to strength. And then the second thing is, and I'm not going to tell you to go do stuff where we're not physically doing it right now. We have just started the VUM videos a couple of days ago. In fact, we started them last week, and we're watching 2 to 3 a day. That's all it is. You don't want to overload your brain with too many videos and watching 30, 40 in a day. You want to be able to watch it, absorb it, and then go out and apply it. So I just want to check that we've got everybody on this call. 125 people, 154 people on the WhatsApp group. So there's obviously 30 people which are missing this. So I'm sorry they're going to miss it. But I just want to see, I think Sashin is on the call, and I want to introduce him. So for those of you that have just bought Sashin's ebook, I'm not going to introduce Sashin as the quadruple IMD in team expansion and world ventures. I want to introduce you to the entrepreneur, Sashin Govender, the virtual mentor, your virtual mentor, the entrepreneur, which took an industry that most people were skeptical about, and he turned this industry into a professional industry where most people said he couldn't do it. Sashin went out and proved them wrong and showed that they could do it. And what he's done is he's carved an easy path for anybody coming into the industry now and joining your organization. Sashin has created an easy tool for people to leverage and use. It's not a huge amount of money. In fact, it's way cheaper than sending your child coming out of school today into university to get a degree. Go and buy them the VUM. It's $149, and you don't need to pay res fees and all the other stuff that comes with university. So, I want to welcome onto this call tonight, not Sashin Govender, the quadruple international marketing director. I want to introduce, Sashin Govender, the mobilepreneur, the entrepreneur, the author, you know, the person which has turned our industry into a professional industry. Sash, I want to welcome you to the very first Sashin Govender ebook VUM live call on a Tuesday night.
Thanks for the introduction, Sal. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Very clearly.
Okay, great. So we got about 140 people on this call, and I want to be able to, have this on a weekly basis with the people who are following suit, who are literally understanding where we're going and how we're moving forward and transitioning, and how we're maturing people, not on a level of becoming a typical network marketer or a typical representative, but also scaling their mind to a whole different level. And I told Sal, so we got to do this every Tuesday, but we got to make sure every single Tuesday we have it around about 8:30 p.m. And most importantly, every single person sees real value and how you can take this book, how you can take the 12 chapters in the book and literally utilize it, because it's more than just $7. It's more than just 86 pages. There's more to it. So every single week, I'm going to break down one chapter, but I'm going to go so deep into that chapter that could help you. And I'll speak for about 30 minutes. So I don't want to take too much of time. I don't like to overload people with information. I like giving them enough information to just execute, take action immediately. The number one problem is, and I keep saying it, people will buy a $7 product, a $70 product, a $700 product, even a $7,000 product, but they won't do the work. They won't do the work. And the saddest part about it is, people have the information in front of them. A millionaire out there is not someone who has just made $1 million, but has $1 million in the bank account. That is a millionaire. And same with the dollar millionaire, and same with a billionaire, etc. And every single day, I allocate some time for, 2 hours for researching. Every day, without a doubt, 2 hours for researching, an hour for personal development. And in that 1 hour, today was way more than an hour. It was an hour and 40 minutes. I spent an hour and 40 minutes on personal development today. I just watched a solid 1 hour and 30-minute video by the 29th wealthiest guy in the world right now. And I'm always studying, and I've never stopped studying. I've never stopped working the mind. I've never stopped. So when you see a $7 book and people start to look at it and say, well, strategically, you got to understand something. For a long time, from 2015 till 2017, people were selling my Voyager magazine for 50 Rand. And it was all edification. And it made a lot of people a lot of money because they told the story. And it was value because it was the cover of the magazine, so they told the story. And today you have an 86-page book for 100, let's just say 130 Rand, $7, 130 Rand today. Real value, 86 pages. And you tell the story and you edify. I'm going to tell you this right now. We have 120 people on this call. If this book wasn't on the shelf and we sold 3,000, 4,000 copies in less than 7 days, it's a bestseller. It's a bestseller book. So with that being said, we want to make sure people understand that you're utilizing the information in the book. You're not just speed reading. This is not a race on how to finish the book first. This is a race on read, apply, read, apply, read, apply. And I've broken it down into so many different chapters. I've broken it down into ways where, most people out there, I took chess and I related it, but when it comes to, I'm not going to talk about chapter 1 today. I'm mostly going to focus on chapter 2, the evolution of you, and making people understand that. But at the same time, people look at the evolution of you, they believe it's how our parents, where our parents came from, where our ancestors came from, great grandparents came from. What we don't understand is It's actually the evolution of you understanding your mind. So today, one of my IMDs picked up the phone and called me and he said, Sash, how do you emotionally detach yourself from situations, circumstances, and certain times in your life, and even people? How do you emotionally detach yourself? I'm so attached to some of my core people. And I said, I was like that years ago. I was exactly like that. And I'll tell you why I was like that. I was like that because I had a very minimal amount of people to work with. It's very difficult to emotionally detach yourself from people without looking at them as a dollar sign. So I need you to understand, you can't look at people as a dollar sign, but you also have to look at it and say, well, I want to be able to lead people, but not get emotionally attached to people. I'm not saying don't be emotionally attached to your husband or your wife or your children, because you have to. They're part of the family. That's who you know you can trust. They're going to be here for a lifetime. They're going to be here forever. But at the same time, you got to understand that when you have 10 people to work with, you emotionally attached to 10 people. When you have 120,000 people to work with, you're not emotionally attached to all 120,000 people. You're emotionally attached to the cream of the crop. So where you want to go here is understanding, and I'm going to break it down and break it to the most simplest terms ever. My grandfather passed on in 2015. And I remember clearly when he passed on right in front of me. And I didn't really understand, someone very close to me passing on, because it's never happened in my entire life. So that being said, in 2015, when my grandfather passed on, I emotionally detached myself from the world because I felt like I was deceived. I felt like something was taken away from me. I felt like, I just didn't understand how when someone passes away, you can literally watch someone lie down without breathing, speaking, talking, and you're speaking to them and they can't speak back. I've never experienced that. So I emotionally detached myself. I switched off, mentally switched off, which was probably the worst thing I could have done, because what happened was, 6 months later, I'm sitting in my hotel room and I canceled my meetings and all my calls, and I was bursting out in tears because I never had that moment of, breaking it out of my system. And what starts to happen is, with family, it's very different to business. But with business, you gotta have the zero emotional attachment. I'm not saying don't work with people because you don't love people. I'm saying zero emotional attachment, because every single year there will be one person that surprises you in a way that goes out there and leaves your organization or leaves your business. And it might be a corporate client in your corporate company that was very loyal to you, and now they've decided to go somewhere else because it's cheaper. Or it might be a leader in your organization. But with that being said, you can't be emotionally attached to someone when you have 100,000 people to work with. So when I had 50, 100, 200, 300, 500 people, I knew every movement of every person in my organization. When they left, when they stopped building, when they built, I knew it because I had a small task of a little people to handle and little people to lead. But when you have a bigger organization, you can't emotionally attach yourself to it, because if you do, you'll be mentally drained and mentally torn apart. So what I need you to do is I need you to start to understand the mind. And you read chapter 2 and you start to understand how vibrations are thoughts, because you give birth to a thought and it's a vibration and it's an energy that you're giving birth to. So, I mean, if you start to look at it, you look at your child and you look at a child that's just born, came into the world, and you look at them and you say, I love you, 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 I love you 50,000 times. When the child starts to grow up, the child's mind understands that the parent loves them. But if the child is 1, 2, 3, 4 years old on the bed, and all the child can hear is their parents fighting in the background, and it could be financial problems, it could be being unfaithful, it could be whatever it is. But in the back of the child's mind, the child is growing up because that is what the child was programmed to believe. So I want you to go back to the point where you never had a negative thought. And you might not be able to go back to the moment because it's been years, but resetting someone's mind is only when you qualify yourself to understand that there's zero emotional attachments. And you got to understand, when I broke down the 4 pillars to mastery: health, wealth, spirituality, and relationships, you got to go back to the core of that. When I picked mentors for each and every aspect, one for health, one for wealth, one for spirituality, one for relationship, and I understood the mastery of it. I mean, giving a typical example today, I spent, health is, by the way, it's not just physical, it's also mental. 1.5 hours of personal development, 40 minutes in the gym. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes in total on my health out of 24 hours. Sleep is health. You sleep for 8 hours, you're sleeping, which is health. You're working on your mind, you're working on your body, you're mentally fit, you're physically fit, etc. So when I look at all of those 4 pillars, I want you to break down a few things. And if you're taking our notes, I want you to write down these 6 points. Point number 1 is you got to assess your life right now. You got to assess it right now. I mean, if you start a business for the very first time, you got to draw up a business plan. This is how much I'm going to invest. This is what the product line is going to be. And this is how I need to break even. When I do a simple thing of investing into my business, it's as simple as this. If I want to invest into, I'm giving you an example, a laptop, and the laptop costs 20,000 Rand. I need to now break down how many meetings I need to go through that generates me profit from the meetings, how many sales I need to make to go out there and then eventually break even on the laptop. My mindset is like a business plan. So I want you to assess your life right now. I want you to assess your health. I want you to assess your wealth. I want you to assess your spirituality. And I want you to assess your relationships. And I've broken these 4 pillars down in various different ways, because health could be physically and mentally. Spirituality could be God, if you believe in God, which is religious, or it could be universal law, which is spirituality. Wealth could be not just how much of money you make, but how much you keep, how much you save, how much you spend, how much you invest. Relationships is not you and your significant other, it's you and your leaders, you and your team members. So you want to be able to understand that we're breaking it down to the core of understanding. You want to assess your life right now. You want to do a plan, a business plan. Where are you? Where were you? And where are you headed? And where are you headed means 6-month plan, 12-month plan, 5-year plan, 20-year plan. You got to break that down. 6-month plan, 12-month plan, 5-year plan, 20-year plan. If you know your 6-month, but you don't know your 12-month, you're winging this life. If you know your 6 and 12-month, but you don't know your 5-year plan, you're not going to last long enough. There's no longevity in your plan. If you know your 6, 12, and 6-month, 12-month, and 5-year plan, but you don't know your 20-year plan, then you're not clear. There's no certainty. There's no clarity of who you want to be. So I got a very, very, very clear and concise plan here. Very clear and concise plan in my life. And I need you to start drawing it up. Picasso doesn't, take paint and throw it on the picture, on the artwork, on the canvas, and decide, hold on, this is what it's going to look like. No, he already has a clear picture of what it's going to look like way before he even puts that paintbrush in the paint and on the whiteboard. So besides you going out there and assessing your life, you need to make a conscious decision to be balanced. A conscious decision means your entire life needs to be balanced. A conscious decision is making a decision of the route you want to go through. So you got these 4 pillars. You got 25% for health, 25% of wealth, 25% of spirituality, and 25% of relationships. So how are you going to break this thing down? Well, you got 24 hours in a day. And if you break the 24-hour part down, you know for a fact that 6 hours for each pillar. So you break this down and you start to say, great, I want to give 6 hours to sleep. Now, I don't know if you want to give 10 hours to sleep. I don't know if you want to give 5 hours to sleep. Whatever your target is, that's what I want you to focus on. So you take that 6 hours, you allocate it to sleep. And you say, this is my health. But then I want to wake up and I want to go spend about 30 to 40 minutes on my personal growth and personal development. And I want to be able to work on my health from that point of view. And then I want to take another 30 minutes or 40 minutes and allocate it to gym. So in total, maybe I'm spending 7 hours on my health. Well, you got to balance the rest out though. We got, 3 more pillars to master. Health, perfection. My mind is personal development. My body is sleep and the gym. Now I'm going to show you how simple this is. From where I'm sitting right now in my room to my gym is not even 10 to 15 steps. Like no joke. I got a fully furnished gym, 10 to 15 steps from where I'm sitting right now. But it is a mental decision. It is a conscious decision for me to wake up from here to get there. It's not a subconscious decision. A subconscious decision is from the habits you've had previously. It's a conscious decision to wake up. The most difficult thing you need to make is make that decision to wake up, to get on the treadmill for 5 minutes, and then you trick your brain into going for 20, 30, 40 minutes. So you're going to make a conscious decision that this is how I'm going to master health. My relationships, I'm going to phone my mom once every 2 days or once a day or once every 3 days, whatever your formula is. For my dad, for my sister, whatever it is. If I'm, just building up the relationship for my leaders, for my core leaders. So I made it my best decision I've ever made in my life throughout this whole pandemic and lockdown was having the set conversations, because I made a conscious decision. At 9:15, I'll speak to one leader. At 9:45, I'll speak to my second leader. And 10:15, I'll speak to my third leader for the day. And by 11 o'clock, I'm literally done with building my foundational leadership. And then I'm going to go out there and work on my organization, my businesses. So from a conscious decision, you're going to make that decision yourself. And then on top of that, you want to be able to make sure that you make a conscious decision that you want to work your spirituality. Now, once again, 10 minutes to visualization, 10 minutes to affirmation, 1 minute to pray. If you don't pray, very simple. Shut your eyes once a day and give thanks. Thank you for my body. Thank you for my mind. Thank you for my life. Thank you for what I have. Thank you for my family. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my business. Thank you for what I have. Thank you for giving me the ability to speak, walk, talk, whatever you want to be grateful for. And then you ask for whatever you want. I don't ask before I thank. I thank before I ask. I show gratitude, because when you have that attitude of gratitude, you internally get blessed in ways you can't even fathom. So you got to make that conscious decision that that's your formula. And then you got to make a conscious decision that you're going to be wealthy. You're going to be wealthy. I mean, I listened to Ray Dalio this afternoon, 29th wealthiest guy in the world today. He's worth 19 billion US dollars. And he is in his 70s, late 70s, if I'm not mistaken. But as we speak, he is not studying. He is not studying the economy today. He is studying the trends of the economy 50 years ago. To break the trends, to find the trends of today, of 5 years from today, of 10 years from today. Go to Forbes, type in Ray Dalio, go type in the Forbes list. You can look at anyone. You can even Google Branson. You can Google Warren Buffett. You can Google Bill Gates. There's enough information on these people. Enough information on them. Point number 3, you got to make the decision on a minute-to-minute schedule. High achievers, leaders, conscious decision makers make decisions on the go. So when my little light decided to fail, the battery died, I made a conscious decision to wake up, to run to my studio, to go pick another one, to put that one in charge, and to use this one. So I made a conscious decision. I brought 2 and I got 1 in charge. You're going to make a conscious decision on the minute. As much as you're planning the week ahead, as much as you're planning the day ahead, you're going to make a conscious decision on that minute, on that split second. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I need a detour. I need to make a change. I need to make a shift. Point number 4, you got to set goals in every area of your life. Your goals is your target. A professional dart player does not close his eye and take the dart and aim for the wall. He's got a target to aim. He wants to get to the middle. He wants to get that 50 points. A professional soccer player has a goal that all he needs to do is put the ball behind the goal. You have a target, and your target is these specific things in your life. Now, some of you are running around aimlessly, targetless, expecting to hit a home run. You don't have the bat. No one's pitching the ball, but you want to hit a home run because you know what you're doing. So you got to be humble enough to learn, and you're humble enough to be on this call today. You're humble enough to learn. You're humble enough to absorb. You're humble enough to apply. But you got to set goals. Goals in your health, goals in your wealth, goals in your spirituality, goals in your relationship. Now, here's the deal. This is way beyond Will Ventures. I learned this way beyond Will Ventures. See, I only joined Will Ventures when I was 18 years old. But I learned this when I was 8 years old. 8 years old. So Will Ventures taught me how to go IMD once. I had to teach myself how to go IMD twice. I had to teach myself how to go IMD 3 times. I got to teach myself to go IMD 4 times. And I'm working right now very, very, very close. I still believe by June I'll do it. IMD times 5. I still believe it. I'm very close. I know I'll do it. But make that conscious decision. Make minute-to-minute decisions and set goals in every area of your life. And then eventually those goals are so subconsciously achieved that you can just throw out a thought and say, I'm going to do this by this date. Universe throws it, aligns it, because universe doesn't know what's right from wrong. Universe does not know what's right from wrong. This is a language that you want taught, that you need to learn. Point number 5, be willing to take a risk. Take the risk. Take a risk. You got to be able to take that risk. And the more risks you take, the more you lose. But it's calculated risk. You'll make enough money. Take a risk. I can't even tell you how many times I took a risk by jumping my car and drove an hour to a place just to do a presentation. I took a risk by jumping in a car and going to a coffee shop, not knowing if the person would shop. I took a risk to spend X amount of money on my budget for my ads, for my marketing. I took a risk to go out there and create the book, not knowing we have 3,000 to 4,000 copies sold. I took the risk and I leave it in the air. And I say leave it in the air because when a pilot takes the plane off and he's in the air, he puts it on autopilot 30,000 feet in the air. When it hits turbulence, what does he do? He's got to go back and steer the thing and align it manually, not automatically anymore. Well, now newest planes have that, but he's going to manually steer it again. He's going to manually make sure he's aligned. He's going to manually align the plane after turbulence and then go put it back on autopilot. I need you to start taking the risk. Point number 6, make time to reassess yourself on a daily basis. Make the time to reassess yourself on a daily basis. If you start to understand that at the end of every single day, you're keeping score. You're knowing, hey, I did this well. I didn't do this well. I spent this time. I spent that time. I got my schedule right here. Printed out Monday to Sunday. I know what I'm doing every single day. Every single day. See, I used to do certain things, like I used to go out there and do specific tasks, like write my social media posts and my emails every single day, the morning, the minute I woke up. I don't do it now. I wake up on a Saturday morning or Sunday morning and I write it for the whole week. I'm productive during the days that I know I could be taking those 30 minutes, and I'm now spending it in ways that I couldn't do it. I mean, in the beginning, I used to post 30 minutes on Instagram, 30 minutes on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, and then 30 minutes to write an email. Now I do everything on a Sunday for 2 hours, 3 hours, and I'm done for the whole week. So you got to reassess yourself, but keep yourself accountable. Guys, I want you to understand there's 3 phases in life. There's 3 phases. Right now, I'm moving into phase number 3. I don't know where you are, but you need to find your purpose, your passion, and your reason to move towards 1 to 3. Phase number one is you're dependent on life and other people's teachings. You're dependent on life and other people's teachings. That's phase number one. You are dependent on the motivation of other people. And it's not bad, but I mean, you want to be able to shift through that. I mean, it took me 26 years to write a book. 26 years. I don't want to waste time. I don't want to get a ghostwriter. I don't want to waste time to publish it. 1 year to publish a book. I don't want to waste time to print. I just made the conscious decision to make the decision to get it done. So you're dependent on life and other people's teachings. Number two, other people become dependent on you. I was there for years. Years. My business was run on me, not anyone else, me. All my businesses. And then phase number three is other people become successful without me. So I create a book with the knowledge, with the wisdom, with the tips, techniques, and advice. People read it, they read it. They apply it, they apply it. But other people become successful without me. I don't even have to physically be there. But it all started off with one thing. I had the conclusion. I started off with the conclusion in my life. I didn't start off with the start. I didn't start off with the middle. I started off with the conclusion. I knew the end and I knew where I was working towards. And you got to understand something. If you have not done something 3 times successfully, don't expect to do it. Don't expect to do other things. You want to be able to master doing something 3 times. First time is luck. Second time, cool. You're good at it. Third time, you're a professional at it. I want you to do it. I had to hit IMD 4 times to remind myself how simple this thing is. So do it 3 times, whatever. You haven't done something 3 times successfully, don't expect to focus on anything else. So you got to understand the human brain. I know you're listening to a lot of information right now, but the average attention span for a human is 8 seconds. In 2012, the year 2000, the average attention span was 12 seconds. In 20 years, we went from 2000 to 2020 from 12 seconds to 8 seconds. Why? We're dealing with the world right now. Technology. The more technology you have, the more distraction you have, the more divorce you have, the more options you have, the more failures you have. Your brain, statistics say your brain can only concentrate for 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, it switches off. So I know you found this entire 30 minutes valuable, but I want to be able to pop on 30 minutes and talk nothing about War Ventures and talk about your psychological state, talk about your mind, talk about your evolution, talk about skills. I don't want to go more than 30 minutes. I don't want to go more than 40 minutes. Because I know the human brain can't acknowledge that because they can't appreciate anything more than 30 to 40 minutes, 45 minutes. So you want to be able to understand something. $7 it doesn't make me rich. It doesn't make me rich. $7 does not make me rich. I'm getting rich by wisdom. I'm working on my wisdom. I'm working on my knowledge. I'm working on I can't give advice if I don't learn my own tips, techniques, and advice, and then take it, absorb it, apply it. Right, it works, and now I can teach it to other people. I don't pluck things off the internet to teach because it just miraculously works. No, it doesn't. I need to test it first, run it through split tests, see if it works, then be able to teach it to you. So you look at the $7 ebook, every person in your organization, a person joins today. That's the first thing they should get. First thing. Why? Why should they get it? Why should they get it? You got to go back to 2012 when I created Team Expansion Worldwide. I was sitting in an airport in Sydney, Australia. 2012, I never started Team Expansion Worldwide. I joined World Ventures. 2013, I started Team Expansion Worldwide when I was sitting in Sydney, Australia. I'm creating names. I was on a layover. Team Expansion came up. I gave birth to Team Expansion Worldwide. Fastest growing organization in the world today. Hands down. I'm telling you right now, watch what happens. We'll be the first team in the history of World Ventures that creates $1 million monthly earners in World Ventures. $1 million monthly earners. Don't ask me how it's possible. I know how it's possible. Because when I do it, I can teach you how to do it myself. And I want you to understand, someone joins the team today, first thing they should get is the ebook. Study it, learn it, revise, apply. Number one, they'll treat this like a real business. Number two, the respect level of this business, which means the respect level of you, evolves. Number three, average human being, average, and I'm talking about 98% of the world, they stop personally developing themselves at 18 years old. In fact, they don't even know what personal development is. And now I've got to pick them up and work on their mind. And then from the ebook, you're teaching them VUM. My VUM's created to make you $50,000 a month. If you're on this call right now, you haven't bought Virtual Upline Mentor. It's created to make you $50,000 a month. I didn't create something just to make $192. No, I didn't do that. I created something because I needed people to understand this is what got me to make 200,000 US dollars per month. This right here, the 110 videos, the 14-day course, this right here helped me make, Sashin, and this is not being, I'm not being cocky, I'm not arrogant, but show me one person right now in the entire company that's making the type of money I'm making. Show me the type of person right now that knows how to create the most amount of success stories in team expansion worldwide. Show me one person in the whole company right now that is popping out the ranks we're popping out. Why? Because we know what we're doing. My way of helping people right now is very different. I want you to be rich mentally, because when you be rich financially, you're going to maintain and sustain that wealth. My goal is for me to create a testimonial about people who made more money than me, had more success than me. That's the blessing. A mentor is not someone who can compress people and dictate people and put them under the umbrella. A mentor should be the type of person that can allow you to be better than them. That's a mentor. I'm not afraid of you doing better than me. I want you to do better than me. In fact, it's a blessing when you do better than me. I'm more happier. I got to put my laptop on charge. I'm more happier when you do better than me. I'm more happier than when you go out there and succeed at the highest level, because I love it. I feel grateful. I feel content. I feel fulfilled. I feel like the system actually works. And for years, for several years, I've never had the opportunity. Well, I never wanted to. I never had the opportunity to charge $192 for a course. I never had the opportunity to create a book. I wasn't ready. Now I'm ready. Now I'm ready. Now I'm ready. I'm teaching the secrets of what got me to make the type of money I've made, have the type of success I've had, and create the type of leadership I've had. Cost you $7. $7 is a test. $7. Every brand new person in your organization, that's what they should be buying. We got 4,000 books, 3,500 books sold. It's an insult to me as a leader, knowing how much of time, how much of energy, how much of effort, how much of resources, my knowledge that I put into my teams to help my leaders win. My leaders win. And yet people are still doubting on a $7 book. And I know you guys bought it, but I got 3,500 people who bought it outside our team. I'm talking about the people in our team. Matt Morris sent out an email to 150,000 subscribers on his email list promoting my book. Why? It's clearly evident there's something here in that book, something in that book that he read that flipped it for him. I don't know what it is, but I need you to understand. $192. You made way more than $192. You're going to make way more than $192. But if you're questioning it, you're questioning my leadership. Then don't say you're part of Team Expansion Worldwide. Don't say you're a millionaire student if you're not willing to go through the process of learning. See, I attended every event World Ventures ever had, but I read a lot of books outside World Ventures. I've listened to a lot of audios outside World Ventures. I don't want you to make the same mistakes I made. I listened to the wrong people. I listened to the right people, but I had to go through a lot of wrong people. A lot of people that don't know anything about our industry. And that's why I've streamlined everything into one platform for you. So I want to thank you guys for being here. Thank you for buying the book. And every week. I want to do it for the next 12 weeks. I want to be able to take 30 minutes every single week and be able to cast vision, give you some tips, techniques, advice, and knowledge. We spent 44 minutes on this call today, but at the same time, you should be promoting this thing every single day. Every single person. Buy the ebook. Go buy VUM. Buy both. Go study it. If you could spend 100 and now here's common sense. Write this question down. If you got a pen and paper, write this question down. If I spent $179 to make $50,000 a month. Let me rephrase that. If I spent $197 once off, $199 once off, $199 once off to make $50,000 a month, is it worth it? Is it worth it? That's what I want you to ask. Ask yourself this. If I spend $199 right now to make $50,000 a month, is it worth it? You tell me if it's a no-brainer. You tell me if it's a no-brainer. You tell me if it's worth it. I would put it on my, so I don't really push people to put things on a credit card. I am telling you, I created the course. I know the value in the course. I know what's in the course. Here's my deal. The book costs $7. You buy the book and you gain nothing, I'll pay you back $29. Virtual Upline Mentor costs $192. You learn nothing, I'll pay you $576. I'll never find one person. I'll tell you why right now. The value, I don't know anyone that's done this. You go to any other training out there, they'll charge you $500, $600, $700, $1,000 for it. I'm giving it to you for a price to trick you. $7 is to trick you to see if you're really a million student. Go to learn.winwithsashin.com. Non-negotiable. Buy it if you want to remain in millionaire student mode. Buy it if you want to take your career to the next level. You can't join World Ventures. You can't join World Ventures, pay $25, $150, $299, $999, and expect to become a millionaire. I'm spending thousands of dollars on my craft every single day. Thousands. You walk into my bookshelf, I paid $1,000. I paid 400,000 Rand for 1,000 books. I paid 400,000 Rand for 1,000 books. Not for videos. I didn't pay it for videos, although it made me way more money already. But I don't negotiate on the cost of personal development. I know where you negotiate. You negotiate on personal development and you're going to waste your money on these things right here. You waste your money on certain things that will never make you money. Learn.win with Sashin. Go buy VUM. Get your team to buy it. I know you bought the ebook. Get everyone to, when someone joins World Ventures, first thing I'm doing, buy VUM and buy the ebook. That's what I'm doing because I know they're not going to quit. I know they invested into their career. I know they're going to study it. I know they're going to have the leadership mindset. I know they're going to think $50,000 a month. I want to thank you for your leadership. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you guys for being here. I know this is recorded. We'll keep this on for 7 days. We won't put it live. We'll only put it live next week after the call. Next week, Tuesday, you got the whole week to max out 2, 3, 4, 5 groups of 256 people. Next weekend, I'll bring the heat again. Stay blessed.